Hello there and welcome to this video about the switch statements in Java. So I'm going to explain, hopefully in short terms, about the switch case fundamental programming construction in Java. So I've made an illustration here of the switch case that hopefully will help understand this construction that we have in programming languages. We can see that we have an expression coming in, and this expression might match some value, value 1, and if it does, it will execute code block 1. If it does not match the value 1, it will proceed to the next one, and it will try to match the expression to value 2 and see if that will succeed. And if it does, it will run code block 2, and so on and so forth. And we also have an optional default keyword in the switch. And if it does not match any value that we set up, it will go to the default and run the default code. So that is the basic idea behind the switch case. Okay, so let's go look at some code here to see if we can make it work. And I already made a little code already, but I think it could be a good idea just to write the switch case together to see how it works. So we just have a normal main class and the main method that we can run in Java. And I have a couple of methods already made. We're going to look at these just in a minute. So I'm going to make a private static string method. Let's just do week day finder. And we will input an integer value here, the number of weekdays, so 1 for Monday, 2 for Tuesday, and so on and so forth. So if we write switch, we can see IntelliJ recognizes it. It is a keyword, and we have these parentheses that we can put in an expression in. So I'm going to put in the number of weekday. That is the input here, and that is the expression I'm going to evaluate. And then let's make a case, because this is the way we do these different options here. We do the cases and define the code in them. So case 1, and then we do a colon, and then we need to decide what to do here. And I think since we're returning in a string, let's just make week string and make it empty. So now we have an empty string called week string, and we can set this to week string equals Monday. Yes, and let's just make another one, case 2. If I can type correctly here. Tuesday. So now we got two cases. We have case 1 for Monday and Tuesday, and we could continue. So let's just try it out first and see what happens here. And I have made a small in my main method. I have a string called output. I'm going to set it to my weekday finder, and then I'm going to print it out using a system out print line. So let's have a look here, and it says 4. Let's just change this to 1. So we input 1, and that means we have 1 over here. It should go to Monday, and of course we need to also return our week string, otherwise it will not return any value. So we set it for nothing, we run the switch, and then the switch will set the string value, and we're going to return it, print it out using system out print line. So let's have a look. So it says Tuesday. Okay, but I inputted 1 here. So this is because we have not provided a break statement into our casings here. And that is something that you should remember when we use a switch case. So after each case, we normally put the break. I'm going to show you an example where we can group it and we don't need to have these breaks. So now we got the break, and let's try to run the code again. We get Monday because we provide 1. It goes to case 1, it set this to Monday, it breaks out of the switch, returns the value. And similarly, if we set this to 2, we get Tuesday. Interestingly, if we put 5, we don't get anything. And this is because we don't have this default case that is optional. But this will allow us to catch any values that go outside the cases that we have specified. So we can write default and week string equals invalid weekday. Oh, okay, it wants to set it there. So this will allow us to catch any numbers, weekday numbers, that is not specified in the cases. So if we run the code again, we get invalid weekday, so it works. So this is the basic workings of a switch case, a normal switch case that will allow us to handle different options and make decisions. We also have another example based on the same domain here, the same example, where we can group different cases together. And we can see now we have all the cases, all the different days of the week from 1 to 7 and the default. But we have grouped them. So we have 1 to 5 in one group with no breaks, with no code. And then we just write in the last one, it is a weekday, break out of the switch. And similarly, we write the weekend days, 6 to 7, break out. And finally, we got the default to handle it. So if we try this out and do the grouping, we can see if we write 1, we get it is a weekday, it's Monday. 3, it's also a weekday. If we go to 6, it is a weekend. If we go to 16, we have invalid weekday. So that is working as it should with these groupings. Okay. Finally, I have an example of a poor switch case example, and it's just an illustration of what could happen if we forget the break statement. So we have a normal switch here with the same days. We got 1 to 7 default, but we don't have any break statements. So what will happen if we run the poor switch case and we input 1? That should be the Monday. We get invalid weekday. And similarly, 4, no matter whatever we type in here, it will run through the cases and run all the way down there to the default. So it is important to remember to put in a break, because when we do that, if we put in 3, we get Wednesday because it has a break. So this is more or less what I wanted to talk about here in this hopefully short video. about the switch case. And thank you very much for watching, and hope you make this work.